but we are back with the Cosplay for All podcast. So today, to open it back up, we just had our major convention here in Salt Lake City called Salt Lake Comic-Con. Go figure. So we're going to start this off with Ian and Whitney. And so tell me about your experiences and your costumes.
You can go first.
So this time I actually decided that I wasn't going to rush at the very last second and get absolutely no sleep. So this convention was a little bit better for costumes this time. I decided that I was going to do my Riddler again, so I did that, and I brought Piccolo back from the dead, but I did the weird random episode where they kind of learn how to drive Piccolo. It's the best filler episode ever, but... So I did that, and then for my new costume this year, I did Toneberry from Final Fantasy, which was by far my favorite costume.
And it was awesome. That's really cool.
I was just running around the convention the entire time, walking up to people, and then I'd stab them and wait for them to turn around and look at me, and as soon as they would, I'd just run off. So it was good times. Good times.
And not really stabbing them.
It's debatable.
So I was not like Ian. I made the resolution to not do my costumes at the very last minute. And was still finishing costumes the days of con. That was awful. But I was part of a big Bombshell group, the DC Bombshell variant covers. There was like 30 of us almost, and I did a Bombshell Ravager. Ravager is Deathstroke's daughter, Rose Wilson. If you don't know who Deathstroke is, I can't help you. And I also did a Deathstroke from Arkham Origins on Friday, full armored. It was awesome. And then Saturday, I did a Cloud Strife along with his Toneberry. Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII.
If you don't know, you really shouldn't be watching this. But continue watching, because I like this place. Yeah,
we'll love you anyway. But... I had a giant Buster Sword, and it was awesome.
Awesome.
What'd you do?
I did, by request, Han Solo and Lara Croft, because I can't do a convention without being her at least once. On Saturday, I did Captain America, which was the first time that I wore it anywhere, and I finished it the night before, or I guess that morning. But, so that was really cool.
That is the general cosplay consensus.
Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, the other two were already made, so it was a little less pressure, but really it was just, like, leftover paint job that I had to finish. But yeah, my shield was made by Ronan, who has appeared on this podcast many, many times. So, yeah, it was really awesome.
Did you guys, by chance, see the gun that Ronan made walking around the Destiny
huge,
gun?
The huge one?
The Beck Smith class?
Oh, that one.
Yes, the one that Steven
had? So he made it for one of his friends, and I was like, my buddy's making one of those. He's like, my buddy Ronan made this. I was like, that's the same one. So I talked to him for about 20 minutes.
Awesome.
It was amazing.
He had this huge Star Wars prop gun that was at one of the groups. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. Ronan, we love you.
Seriously.
So on that, does anybody have like a favorite costume that they saw?
Yes. I saw it and immediately squeed. If any of you are familiar with the Play Arts variations of characters, there was a Play Arts Stormtrooper, and it was on par and perfect. And amazing.
Really? That's cool.
That's awesome. I saw one, what is the villain? Powerpuff Girls. Him?
Oh, yeah.
Him? Like, is that what it is?
Yeah.
The
him?
transvestite guy.
Yeah. It was awesome. I, looked, and at the same time, Joni and I were like, it's her. It's him. Because we couldn't remember what the character's name was. I was like, I know it's just it's a word. Oh my gosh, she was so cool. It was identical. I don't know if he was just really tall or if he was on stilts or something.
I don't know.
But it was perfect.
I'd have to say, I usually have one that stands out overall at every convention, and every time I pass them I say, you're still my favorite costume, and they like that. I didn't really have that this time. There were quite a few that I really enjoyed. I think probably out of them, though, my favorite one was the father-son duo. His son was in a wheelchair, and he made them matching Mandalorian armor.
That's awesome.
And I'm
so
not
cool.
one for Mandos. I can't get into it like everybody else does, but to see somebody do that for their son and to dress up the same way as them, that was a really cool costume. Very few I take pictures of anymore, and that was definitely one of them.
One of my favorite people to see is Bearded Leia.
Oh my gosh.
And it's really funny because we dress like a lot of the same characters. And so the first day I was Han Solo, and of course he was Bearded Leia. And so I had a slave Leia, so we matched the first day, like our costumes went together. The second day we wore the exact same version of Lara Croft, so we matched the second day in a row. So we were just going back and forth between each other's booths, like taking like a bunch of pictures. I saw him for like 5 seconds on the last day, but that whole day was so crazy that I didn't get any pictures with him. But next time, it's happening.
We love you, Bearded Leia.
Seriously.
Me too.
And your beautiful, beautiful beard.
Yeah, he's a bearded beauty.
I remember at Gaming Con, I guess that doesn't have anything to do with Salt Lake, but that's where I got to know Bearded Leia really well, and we did a shoot together where I was Misty and he was Bearded Leia. I'm stroking his beard. It was really awkward. It was really awkward.
He's awesome. So let's talk about guests, whether they be cosplay guests or actors or writers or artists.
I think you probably should start this one.
I agree.
So normally, I don't I rarely ever do photo ops. Like I've done a lot of press stuff or behind the scenes PR and things like that. But as far as getting a photo op done with a celebrity, I've done it with Stan Lee and that was it. But I got on a slim chance of meeting Chris Evans, and if you know me, I'm obsessed because it's. Let me break it down for you. I can't tell if I am attracted to Captain America or Chris Evans. And the fact that they're the same person to me, I needed to resolve the confusion a little bit. By the way, I met him. We did a photo op. Still confused. So I guess I got to try again later. Round 2. So Salt Lake Comic Con did this thing where they only had so many photo ops for sale. And I didn't even try to get them. They sold out in 3.5 minutes. So I was like, maybe next time. But then they came out with a lottery. I also didn't enter in the lottery because I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. So I didn't. One of my friends ended up buying one before they sold out, and then she got put in the lottery, so she bought a second one, just in case, because you have to take precaution. And then, she came up to me, because she's from California. Her name's Ray Nix, says she does an amazing Han Solo, Megara. She does almost every version of Captain America. So naturally, she took the precautions to meet Chris Evans because she had to. But so she came up to me and she's like, hey, I have this extra ticket. Do you want it? And I was like, yes, I do. So last minute, the day before the photo op, I get the photo op. And I got to meet him. And normally, because I've done a lot of interviews and things like that in the past, I'm normally pretty cool. I don't lose my cool very, very easily. But as soon as we walk into the room, I see him, and I'm like, first my heart melted, but then my brain died. I don't know what happened. And so I walk up to him, and, my friend Ray is in front of me, and, she's like, hey, can you, dip me in this picture? And it's the cutest picture ever. He, tilts her down. It's, the cutest picture I've ever seen. And then I get up to him, and I'm like, you're my favorite human. And he was like, oh, sweetie, thank you. And he hugged me, and his sweater he smelled so good. And, it was made out of husband material. And it was just, it would have been awesome. But I ended up getting, a pageant-style picture because I was terrified. So, yeah, that's my Chris Evans story.
I distinctly remember talking to Bill, who was kind of helping with this situation with the photo shoots. And I quote, he says, they're taking the picture. Megan, look at the camera.
It's funny. Bill owns the Frankie and Johnny's, the penalty box bar that we have a lot of the cosplay events at, and he was working with Chris Evans' photo op, and yes, that story is very accurate. As this is happening, I'm staring at Chris Evans. I don't even remember if we ever even made eye contact because I was just completely gone. Like I said, I was brain dead, and I don't know. So I'm staring at him, and then I hear 3, 2, Megan, and I see these hands, and Bill's pointing at the camera, and I was like, what? And that was, there's our photo moment.
Well, I almost regret letting you tell that story first because I don't think anything will quite compare to that.
Not
So
quite.
the level of
Try me.
enthusiasm.
Not quite. I can try, but it definitely won't match it.
I think for me, I mean, as far as guests go, that's not necessarily something I go to the convention for. I go to cosplay. I mean, this is cosplay for all. No, I go for the people that I want to see their costumes. So, Bearded Leia is one I always want to see when I go. He's always one of my good friends.
I love when he's here.
He's good people.
And then
Yeah.
as far as guests go, I mean, I look at my friends that go as the guests. That's the people I go to see. So, yeah, like I said, I don't have a story to quite compare to that. One person, though, really made me upset that I didn't really get to see any of his costumes. His name is Ryan Wells.
Oh.
And he has
I love him.
the most intense costumes ever. And I didn't see him any day. So, Ryan, I'm sorry, man. Come back.
He wore his Skeksis on Saturday, and I didn't see it.
I wanted to see the Mars Attacks alien.
He wore that too.
He was at the
He
last
hung out
convention that we went to, and that
Yeah.
is amazing
Joni-
in person.
Joni got a
He's
picture
awesome.
of it, and I was
It's
jealous.
amazing.
He came into our hotel room, and you said hello to him, and you didn't even know.
I didn't know. I don't know what the guy looks like. I just know his costumes. You have to meet somebody like 12 times before you know who they
It's
are.
true.
That's just how it is in
It's
costume.
true. Okay, so I have one story. So I'm like Ian, and I guess technically Megan. I'm not there for the guests. Like, yeah, they're cool, but they're just people. But I had a friend who was doing the photo stuff for Manu Bennett, and so we went over to say hi to her, and then I had a different friend who came over who's actually friends with Manu and came over to say hi, so I went and talked to him, and so I was technically standing in front of Manu's booth, and I was dressed as Bombshell Ravager, who again is Deathstroke's daughter, so I kind of looked like Deathstroke, and Manu Bennett was, just signing away autographs and whatnot, and I'm just far away in the background, then all of a sudden he looks up, looks at me, and is like trying to get my attention. He was like, "You, come here." I was like, "What? What?" He's like, "You,
Me?
come here."
I don't
right
know
now.
you.
I was like, "Oh, okay." And he has like this line of people, but I go anyway because that's
Do
what
what he
everyone
says.
is doing. Yeah, you just do what they say. So I go over and talk to him. He's like, "Hello, darling. You look great. Are you Miss Deathstroke? You look great." He's from New Zealand, hence the
You
accent.
probably shouldn't mimic accents.
I know. I probably.
It's probably messed up.
It probably is. And she's like, "We need a picture together." And so I was like, "Okay." So we get a picture together, and I'm about to walk away. He's like, "Oh, wait, hold up. We need to get." I'm sorry. Hold up. I need to get you a picture. I need to give you a signature. Like, you have to have one of my pictures of my signature. I was like, okay. And so he gives me a signed autograph as well. And
That's
then-
like forced autograph. I don't know how I feel about that.
Take this, it'll help you on your journey.
Right. And then we just sit and talk for a little bit longer with me and my other friend who's actually friends with him. And
That's awesome.
then I go
It's
on
good
my merry
times.
little way like, what just happened?
I also like
The story is also continued later.
meeting the artists. I like them a lot.
Yes.
My friend Mel Milton and Tyler Kirkham, they go to all of these shows, and I love being able to stop by and talk to them.
So,
Yes.
yeah, that totally... Tyler Kirkham, DC artist. I meet this
Artist for
guy.
Deathstroke.
I meet this guy,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
not the first time I've met this guy.
It's all tied up together.
on.
We just
Hold on.
connected.
But that's the thing. So she's like, you should go over and see some of his work, Tyler Kirkham. He's kind of one of our friends. And I was like, Tyler Kirkham. I know that name.
This was the strangest conversation
And
ever.
I was like, he used to date my sister. So I went over and talked to him. I was like, you don't know me, but you know my sister. Because I had to see his face, because people have the same names all the time. It was totally him. I was like, you don't know me, but you know my sister. And he's like, okay. I was like, Nicole Payne. And he's like, that's your sister? So we hit it off. He's a pretty cool guy. I'm glad things turned out for him. He got away from my sister, so that was smart. But
His work is awesome.
It is.
Like
Oh
he's
my
got
God,
that Screwed
yes.
comic book, and I have one of his Tomb Raider prints. I have a Groot print. He's a super
He's a
super
really nice guy.
His basement is featured on Kotaku and a bunch of other websites because
Cool.
it's a Skyrim themed basement. It's huge. Him and his wife have worked on it forever. There's hand-carved doors. Like, you walk in his basement, it's like a house in Skyrim. I kid you not. I went there for a Halloween party, and I was like, Are you renting this place out? Like, is this...
Tyler, invite me over.
You guys are practically family.
Right? We could have been, I guess.
Deathstroke, that counts, right?
Perfect. Party at the Kirkhams. But no, like, his basement is amazing. But yeah, I mean, if you guys see any of these people at conventions, obviously we've all had very good experiences with them, so I recommend meeting them if you have the opportunity to. I know Tyler's going to New York Comic-Con currently. I think that started today? Tomorrow. Yeah,
everyone
cool.
arrived today.
Oh, yeah.
It's all over the Facebook.
Are we pausing?
So we're going to go to a brief intermission right now. We will be back after these short messages from our sponsors, maybe?
Hey everybody, it's Whitney from Cosplay for All here. You should go over to iTunes right now and subscribe to us. Just type in Cosplay for All. You'll find us. It's great. And also go like our Facebook page, facebook.com/cosplay for all.
We're back again. So there's a little break in this podcast, but now we're talking about Salt Lake Comic-Con, and we're getting to a point where we can talk about our favorite experiences of that weekend. So whoever wants to go first. You, go ahead.
Fine.
I picked for you.
It's been said 1,000 times, and it's probably been said at least 3 times this podcast.
Bearded Leia?
No. I mean, I love the guy, but it's the kids that make cosplaying special. And my 2 moments that stick out for me was one when I was doing Piccolo. There was 2 kids dressed up as L and N from Death Note, which is also one of my favorite animes of all time. And they came running up to me out of their mind because I was Piccolo. Like, they were the happiest people in the world. And so I just stayed in character. And it made them laugh, and they asked me if I got my driver's license, and I told them that I ended up killing too many civilians, so they wouldn't give it to me. And no, it was just a fun time, because they had fun with just me being the character I was. And then another time, I was dressed as my Riddler costume my second day, and there was a little girl running around dressed as Riddler. So I took advantage of the situation, and hey, your costume is amazing. Will you take a picture with me? And she got so happy that somebody wanted her picture. And so we got a good picture. It was a battle picture. We were both holding our staffs about ready to fight each other. I'm making her laugh the whole time, because I'm like, you got to be serious. You're not supposed to laugh. Stop laughing. And she's laughing the whole time. But those were probably my 2 favorite experiences from the con, just because to see the light in a kid's eyes that you can no longer have in your own is the best part.
There's this little kid, he just barely got an Instagram page. His name's Parker.
He is a ladies' man.
I know. He gave me a little note that said, "To Megan, love Parker." And every day he would come up to the booth all 3 days, and we started like a little tradition. So like we would trade weapons, and he would teach me how to do the sound effects of each weapon. So we were play fighting every time he came up to the booth, and he's so cute, so cute. He dressed up as a Jedi one day, and he gave me the lightsaber, and so I gave him I think it was Tomb Raider that day. No. Maybe it was Captain America, because I gave him my shield and it gave me his lightsaber, so we were doing the whole like the whole time.
That's cool.
And he was just coming up every day. There were also 2 little kids. They had a whole Captain America family, but these 2 little boys were twin boys, and they were wearing shirts that one said Halo, one said Hydra. And so I took a picture in between them as Captain America, and I was like, oh, what? Like, and then they started whispering Hail Hydra in my ear while we were trying to take the picture.
Wow.
So the picture's really, really blurry, but I got the full surround sound experience.
Hail Hydra.
It was so cute.
That is so adorable.
It was a good time. My other favorite experience is always just meeting people, talking to people at the booth. Just any like
fans, right?
Yeah, just any like interaction with people. Like that's why I do what I do. Like I like to entertain people, and I like having that common ground with people, and also Bearded Leia.
Well,
Jules is always like the center of.
It's surprising when I'm just relaxing your guys' booth because I need a place to sit down for a second. But between you and Joni having all these random people come up, and you're calling them by name. And I'm like, this guy lives in Colorado, and he comments on your stuff. Yeah, but that's Sean. We all know Sean. I was like, who the hell is Sean?
Well, the thing is, like, we like to have those interactions with people.
But that's cool. I wish
my
I
favorite
could
part.
know
That's
names
awesome.
like that.
And names are one of the hardest things. Like, I recognize faces really, really well.
Yeah.
But the more I talk to people on my cosplay page, the more I get to know more than just, like, their usernames. I have the tendency to give them nicknames sometimes because I'm like, oh yeah, that's so and so because of their username or because of a conversation we previously had. So I've been trying a lot harder to remember actual names.
It's easier to relate it to something in your head, though.
Yeah. And it's to the point where, like, now I felt really good about this convention because I'm like, these are people that I see at other conventions. Or people that I saw at, like, Long Beach Comic-Con, that I saw at Salt Lake Comic-Con, that I saw at, like, just because people travel just like we do, you know.
And
so
it's just really cool. I know from the fan perspective, that probably means a lot to them. And it's just you don't see many people trying to learn their names.
Yeah,
It's just they're part of your paycheck, and that's just not how it should be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same playing field as everybody else is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not something.
We're all nerds, man.
Yeah, I mean, we all like the same stuff. We all do the same things. It's like it's no different for them to know my name. Like I'd also want to know their name too. It's a conversation.
Definitely.
Yeah. Woo.
My turn.
Yep.
I liked everything. But just like Megan, my absolute favorite part was just meeting all the people. But not only that, like, I couldn't go, like, 2 minutes without running into someone I knew.
That's
because I have so many friends in this cosplay, just con community now, that I can't go literally anywhere without running into people. Like, actually, last night I was at a movie, and I ran into Willard at the theater.
That's
Like, I can't go anywhere without running into people, and I love it. Like,
well,
Yeah, it's a really
cool, but
big
nice.
community.
it's because I know so many people in the community. I don't get to see all of them, and then I don't ever see the con. Like, I took my costume off the last day to give myself 2 hours to see the con, and then they closed it at 7 instead of 8, so I got 1 hour. So I'm running up and down Artist Alley trying to buy stuff.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part about conventions, especially when you know a lot of people, you get stopped for pictures a lot, or if you have a booth. Like, any place where you have, like, a home base, it's impossible to see anything.
Yep.
And that's the hardest part for me. So, like, at the end of every night, because we have to, like, break down or just to clean up or whatever it is that we have to do, we have, like, where all the vendors are closing. We just have to do the runaround, like, up and down the aisles, or, like, at least remember, oh, I wanted to see this person, this is where they are, I have to remember that this is their location.
That's why
and then you find them later.
I honestly don't think I could do a con the way you do a con, because I have to move. I can't sit still. And talking to all the people, cool, that's great, that's awesome, that is my favorite part, but I want to play in cosplay. So
Yeah,
I gotta move around a lot. I gotta see the whole convention, and this time I just didn't get the chance. It felt like there was nothing to see because I couldn't get there to see it.
Yeah. So did you guys attend any of the pre-parties or the post-parties, and just overall your experience? For me, I went to the pre-party at Frankie and Johnny's, or the penalty box. And that was awesome. It's a lot of cosplay and karaoke. It's my favorite. So if you guys do live in the Salt Lake area, we have charity events that happen at Frankie and Johnny's / the penalty box. The second Friday of every month and the fourth Saturday of every month, and proceeds go to charity. We karaoke, we dress up, we hang out. We have a good time. So I guess we all went to that pre-party, and then I didn't go to any of the like official Salt Lake Comic Con parties.
I didn't go to any of the official ones either. We had hotel parties with our friends.
Fun fact about our hotel.
Yeah, we got upgraded at the last minute to a presidential suite, so the parties got a little bit better.
But it wasn't the full suite, it was just like the common area. So we only had rollaway beds.
But
we had a giant room, which was nice, because we had a lot of costume finishing to do.
All the space. So overall, sounds like you guys had a good time.
Yeah.
I had a blast. I think this con was a little bit more confusing than most. I don't know. To me, it just felt different, centered around cosplay. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. I didn't do the right costume. I don't know what it was. It was just different. It was good.
It was a different good con.
Yeah.
It was good.
Awesome.
Very good.
So now that we are back doing regular podcasts, we will see you guys next time. Follow the page, cosplayforall.com, and Cosplay for All on Facebook.
We love you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Cosplay for All podcast. The Cosplay for All podcast is part of the Whatever Makes You Weird network. We'll tell you more about that in future episodes. This particular episode is produced by Trevor Nielsen and Tim Bennett. Your host today was Megan Golden, and panelists include Whitney of Zabricus Cosplay and Ian of Alien Cosplay. If you enjoyed this podcast, we'd love for you to review us on iTunes and follow us on Facebook. You can find links to do both in the show notes below. Thanks for listening.